Welcome to this quick DIY video on how to replace the glow plug controller on a diesel BMW, this variant being the N47, specifically in the 520D E60 2009 LTI model. But I'm sure that it would be similar for most other variants using the N47. And just on a side note as well, as you guys can see over here, I've got this little smart charger which I managed to pick up on Takealot. And just getting a little bit closer, you can see some of the features that it has. So it's your normal car or truck battery charging, AGM gel type battery, motorcycle with trickle charging, and then pulse repair. I will link this down in the description below if anybody is looking for something like this, but I must say it's a really useful tool to have in anybody's garage inventory. So without further ado, let's just go through a quick explanation as to what needs to be done to get to this glow plug controller. You guys can see over here, this is the new replacement part, and the reason I'm actually looking at doing this replacement today is because I have done diagnostics on the vehicle with two different scan tools, both of them being Autel, one being older and one being more digital, and both of those scan tools actually displayed an error message, which was the LIN bus what was it now, missing, or preheat control missing. But I'm going to display it on the screen just so you guys can see what that error code was and the error message that it was displaying, which led me to then getting a replacement control module, which I'm hoping is going to resolve this issue today. So first things first, you're going to want to remove this engine cover. Just pull up, and just get in a little bit closer. You've got this pipe running here which has a clip. Hopefully you guys can see it. Not really. There we go. This clip here which holds that pipe in place, and then you've also got the sensor which has this little push clip which you will press in to release that sensor. And then below the pipe you have the glow plug control module. Can't really make it out over there, but it's being held in with two, what I believe is 10 head nuts. Let me just remove the pipe and then we can have a little bit of a clearer view as to where that control module sits. So now that we've got that hose or pipe out of the way and just press down, here you guys are able to see that is your glow plug control module. Just zoom in a little bit, and those, well, you can see the one connector here on top, then there's another connector at the bottom which needs to be disconnected. As I was mentioning, that's the 110, and the other one is that one down there. So those are the two little nuts that are holding that module in place. So let's just get to removing those two electrical connections, and then unscrewing those two pins and putting in the new module. I'll just give you guys a quick glimpse of the new module once I've opened up that bubble wrap with the part number and the brand name as well. So just to explain to you guys how to remove those two connectors, and I'm going to use a second phone for additional lighting. So this one here, top one, you just need to pull out, from my understanding. There you go. And then on the lower one, there are two push connectors or push clamps that you need to press together or squeeze, and then that will release the lock of that connector, which you can then pop out. Phew, little bit of a tight squeeze, but hopefully you guys can see now. That was that one that I was struggling with, and a little bit awkward to show you guys, but this part there is one of the push tabs, and then this here is the other push tab. And here we go with that new module that I've just removed from the bubble wrap. Not too sure whether you guys can make out. There we go, there's the information. So it's made by a company called Bmw. That's the model information, 4-cylinder glow plug controller. And once I've taken out the factory one, we'll just do side-by-side comparison to see the similarities. But yeah, this is supposed to be direct plug and play. Okay, here we go. That factory glow plug controller has been removed, and side by side. Hopefully you guys can see they do the similar. Here's the pins on the new one. Let's get the factory one out. So yeah, let's just get this holder bracket off, transfer it over, and then I can get to installing the new glow plug controller. And then just so that you guys can see why I say that this needs to be removed, it's actually held on also with 2 10 nuts, which will then release this bracket. Otherwise the new module will just be lying loose in the engine bay, which you do not want. So just a simple case of loosening the 2 nuts to gain access to that bracket. But you guys don't need to see this, I mean that's very straightforward. So I'm going to pause the camera here, transfer the new bracket, or at least transfer the bracket over to the new module, and then I will show you guys what it looks like once installed. And then we'll need to run diagnostics on the car, and hopefully that error message that was displaying previously will have been cleared. Okay, so the new glow plug control module has been installed. Now it's just a case of working in reverse, so putting all the connectors back into place, putting this pipe back over the throttle body, and then plugging in the sensor onto that pipe as well. And just closing up these, putting them into their slots, putting the beauty cover back on, and then we should be good to go to run that diagnostic scan, clear the errors, and then see if we do have anything popping up again. So here we go with the first startup after fitting that new glow plug controller. Let's see if that high battery discharge error message still comes up, but hopefully not. Okay, so far so good. That message normally would have popped up almost immediately as soon as I switch ignition on, but nothing of that sort. There's also the mileage, so that I do have a record of when I actually replace the glow plug controller. Oh, let's just do the quick startup now. And already there's a noticeable difference between the previous cold start and this one. Seems to start up so much easier now. I don't even feel that hesitation in the idling. Next up will just be to run the diagnostic scan tool, clear the error message, and see if anything else pops up. But fingers crossed, I think we will have resolved all the other outstanding issues except for one, which is the AUC sensor for the automatic climate control, but that I do have en route out of USA, so hopefully that will arrive soon, and then we will have cleared every known error message that has been popping up on the vehicle. And it's the next day, and yeah, we've got the auto hooked up to the BM. So now I'm just waiting for it to boot up, and then we will run that OBD scan, check for any other outstanding error messages, erase and clear the error codes that were previously picked up, as I mentioned at the beginning of the vlog. and then hopefully we will have solved that parasitic draw issue, as well as having replaced the glow plug controller. We won't have that error message popping up anymore. Okay, so here we go. Those are the error messages that have popped up. And if you just go into the diesel electronics, read the codes, see what comes up. Okay. Okay. Let's just go back, clear those errors. Then we'll just go ahead and clear all these other ones as well. And those are new, but I'm assuming it's because the battery had run down and that caused the module to then pick up issues all related to the battery voltage. And as I mentioned previously, this is the only other sensor that I still need to replace, which is that AUC sensor, and then another error message related to battery voltage. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and start the car quickly, and then we'll just run another scan, and hopefully that AUC sensor will be the only error that still remains on the car. Alright, so we've got the car started, and we'll just go back in and run another scan, and hopefully everything will be resolved. Just over here, battery voltage still seems to be a little bit on the low side. Should be up to 14 and a half, probably up to 15 volts with the vehicle on. So yeah, could be that the regulator in the alternator needs to be replaced, but hopefully that will be another quick fix for a later vlog. Yeah, so there we go, alternator error message, so more than likely that regulator. Okay, so here's just another quick update. I disconnected the I don't know if it's a sensor plug from the IBS that connects to the alternator, as well as the power connection to the alternator itself, and now you can see I've run another scan, and that error on the TDE has now been erased successfully, as well as the voltage. You can see over here it's now looking a lot better. It's around that 14.5 mark, as I mentioned earlier. I'll just give it a couple of revs and see if it does pick up. Yeah, so it does go up marginally. It seems to be charging correctly now. Let me just go to the front quickly and show you guys which connections I removed, and then I'm assuming that reset the IBS, or at least the signal in the IBS system, to ensure that the alternator now charges up correctly. But I am still going to be looking into replacing that regulator in the near future, just for my own peace of mind. So coming to the front here, this is the alternator, and I remove that plug and also remove this nut. Took off all the electrical connectors and then just clean them up. So I'm hoping that will have now resolved the issue.